Welcome to Yoga with Satya. And uh, for your practice, if you want to lay your mat out like mine, you can, you don't have to. It just sometimes when we're doing it with the screen makes it a little easier to see what's going on if you need to take a peek and check out a posture. We will begin with swinging. So you can just let your arms fly around the sides of your body. Breathe in through your nose and out through your lips. If you like that, that's jaw breathing. It's really great for lengthening out the exhalation. So getting rid of carbon in our bodies and our lungs creates more space for oxygen when we breathe in. You can lift your arms up to each side a little slower. So you're feeling the side stretch from the fingers all the way down to your toes on the same side. And also feeling your spinal alignment. Make contact with the fronts of your shoulders. Start to let your gaze and your face relax. It's yoga time. Bring your hands down to the hips. Let the hips and the hands connect in the front and the back. And then the hands can come to stillness down by your sides. We're going to draw a big circle, rainbow your arms up, 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 up. See if your thumbs will touch or meet at the top, just for fun. And then bring your arms down in front of you. Face your palms out and draw a big circle around you, leaning forward to touch the hands in the back. And then bring the hands back together in the front. Touch the palms and pull your hands in. So the fingertips point forward and the wrists are in front of your solar plexus beneath your chest. And then tilt your hands so the fingertips point up. Breathe in and reach up. Breathe out and bend your left knee and then hinge forward. Just kind of hug your left leg. Straighten your left knee and bring your hands between your feet. Stretch your back, lifting the upper back and head. I'm up on my fingertips. The knees can be slightly bent. Bend your right knee. And it's kind of like you're hugging your right leg, letting your head drop down. Walking your hands back to center, lifting the spine halfway up, kind of the way you do in a sun salutation. The knees are bent. Just a little. Bend your knees now more and drop your hips down. Bring your arms out to T and then palms together in front of the crown of the head. Push your hips forward and let your spine lift and rainbow your arms down to the sides again. Just rainbow the left arm out to the side, up and over, stretching the side body again. And then just back out of the side stretch a little and drop the left arm in front of your face and stretch the right arm up and over to the left. Really engage the core with the side stretch. Try to keep your shoulder back in alignment with your hip. Breathe in through your nose and back out again, either through your nose or your mouth. Whenever you want to exhale through your mouth, I recommend it, but you can breathe in and out through the nose. So come up a little and then lower the right arm in front of you. Reach both arms up, up, up. Bring the palms together above your head. Step both feet in and bend both knees. So hug your legs together. Press your palms together. And you're squatting like in chair pose for Jade Snake. Bring your hands to the left and the hips to the right. Hands a little lower, hips switch. Hands a little lower. And then the hips and the hands go back and forth. You're going to slowly come up a little each time you switch. And now go over the head to the other side. And continue slithering down, 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 and jade snake going back and forth. The knees stay together the whole time if you can. Hands to the hips, hands to the shoulders, hands to the ears, and then back up for foundation. So make a sphere shape with your hands, all the fingertips touch. And it's almost like you're squeezing your elbows in, they're slightly bent. Press your fingertips, your inner thighs, and your knees together. The hands are held up right in front of the forehead area. Squeeze them, breathe, open up your back like you're dropping your sit bones to the floor. And then release your hands down to your sides, straighten your knees, and shake it out. Kick your feet, wiggle your arms. Roll your wrists up, the palms are open. Shake your head and your hands sideways, releasing any tension from your body mind. Let it go. Make fists and roll your wrists the other way, down, down, down to your sides. And pause for a second. Roll your shoulders back. Roll your arms back. Roll your shoulders back. And then your arms. One more, shoulders. Roll back your arms. Go forward. Shoulders forward. Arms forward. Exaggerate it so you feel what's happening, how you're opening up your back. One more, shoulders roll forward, arms roll forward, and shake it out, flick your fingers. Interlace your hands behind your back. Move your hands away from your back, any amount. Mine are just like an inch away from my back. Feet are grounded and separated, shoulders width apart. Push your hips back, come into a mini 45-degree forward bend. So you're not even halfway down. Maybe you're just a quarter of the way down. And then go halfway down with your spine. And then go 3/4 of the way down. And then go all the way down. You can bend your knees. See if you can get the crown of your head to point to the ground. Unless, of course, you have low blood pressure and you're going to keep your head up. Now bend your knees. Come halfway to the halfway point. Your crown is pointing forward. Push your hips forward so your crown lifts and points up. Release your knuckles and just let your arms float up and down. Cross your hands in front of you. Reach them up and down to the sides. Good. Bring your hands to the heart and step your feet in. I am here breathing. So on the inhale, silently say the words, I am, as you focus at the third eye. As you breathe out, focus down at the soles of your feet and silently say the word here. And I'd like to invite you to do that at least 3 more times silently. Last time, last breath. Release your hands down. Let's open the feet apart wider. So they're almost an arm's length. If you dropped strings down from your wrists, they would come to your ankles. Lower the arms and turn your right foot out. So If you want a shorter stance for any reason, you can step your left foot closer to your right foot. Bend your right knee, bring your arms to T. Look to the right like warrior two. And then you're going to straighten your right knee and let your arms reach up like a Y and face your palms forward. Drop your left arm to your left leg, and then your right arm is going to stretch away from your right foot. Push down into the right foot and reach your left arm up. And you can always come out a little and make sure everything in the pelvis, hips, spine, and shoulders are feeling aligned, open, like prana can flow through your body right now. Lower the arms to T and bend your right knee into warrior two. Look to the right again. Try to spread your collarbones apart and feel like the left and right shoulder blades are squeezing in, like the doors at the supermarket, how they slide in to close. Straighten the right knee and lower your arms down to your sides. Cross your hands in front of you. Lift your arms back to T and come into warrior two, looking to the right. Sliding the shoulder blades in a little, bending the right knee, straightening the left knee. Turn the left palm up and lift the left arm, straighten the leg a bit, the right leg, and drop your hands to either blocks or fingertips to the floor, coming into a runner's lunge with the left knee lifted. Try to feel like an arrow. You're aligning with an arrow pointing out through the crown of your head, and the feathers on the opposite end of the arrow are down by your tailbone. Drop the back knee down to the ground. Move your hips back and forth, lifting and lowering the ball of the foot. Just move at your own pace and feel your thighs and legs and hips all stretching, becoming satisfied with the sensations of stretching calves, hamstrings, hips. Groin on the other side. So we're going to bring the hands a little bit in front of the right foot and drop your right knee out to the side. Think of pigeon pose, but not all the way. Just kind of start to get into that right hip joint a bit. Dropping the right knee out to the side, the sole of the right foot kind of faces to the left. And just go gentle, and then bring your right knee back to point up. Pull your right foot a little closer to your left knee. And then lift both of your hands up and align your spine and shoulders. Point your thumbs up, palms facing each other, and lift your arms all the way up in the crescent moon. And then releasing the shoulders down away from the ears and pulling your chin in a little. Kind of squeeze that left glute muscle and feel like you're gently opening the front of the left hip, creating more extension and length in the spine. As you notice with breathing, you're able to do lengthening and aligning, backing out a little whenever you feel like it's necessary. Lower the arms. We're going to put the right hand behind the back and the left hand on the inside of the right foot. And tuck your left toes under and lift the left knee up. Place the palm of your right hand down around your sacrum and twist your spine to look to the right. Make sure the head feels in alignment with the spine. It's not kind of cocked, so that your left ear is a little closer to your left shoulder. And come back into the runner's lunge. We're going to step the right foot back to the left in downward facing dog. Enjoy the dog pose. When you're feeling thoroughly satisfied from downward facing dog, drop your knees to the floor and your hips to the heels in your devotion pose. Make your devotion pose focus on the lower back. So relax your elbows down to the mat. Shift your hips side to side, rocking, breathing, relaxing. Lifting your head up, we're going to come into table pose on the hands and knees. We're going to do bird dog, lifting the left leg, flexing the left foot, and lifting the right arm, pointing the right thumb up. We're just going to hold it. Maybe watch 3 rotations of your breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then bring the hand and the knee down. And on the other side, lift your right leg and your left arm. Make sure the right foot is flexed and the left thumb is pointing up, and try to keep the shoulder and wrist on the same line and the hip and ankle the same height. Keep breathing. Work through the lower belly. You want to keep it lifting up towards the spine. This is for your core. And release. We're going to come back in downward facing dog. We work on this each week, so hopefully it's getting a little more familiar to you. So from your down dog, you're going to bend your left knee and push down through the right foot. You might notice your left hand is pushing down. Lift your left foot up. So I just bend the knee. See if you can lift your right hand up. If you want to, you can stretch your left leg out. And then bring your hand and your foot down. Let's try the other side. And you can do this at your own pace, so you don't have to follow my exact cueing. Get the left foot and the right hand to take the weight across the body, lifting the right foot and the left hand. Kind of activating the core and learning how to balance on the diagonal. Come back into a regular dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet. You can bend your knees. Come into Uttanasana, just a nice rag doll. Good circulation with the breath. Release the hands down if they were in your elbows. You're going to line up your feet hips width apart. Lower the hips down. And then lift the hands right to the heart center in your chair pose. Gently bring the back of the right hand to the outer left knee and lift that left arm up. You're pressing the back of the hand and the knee together to rotate. Hands together, squat down. Bring the back of the left hand to the outer right knee. Lift the right arm up. Press the knee into the hand into the knee. Bring your hands together and back to the heart. And then lift up, 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 up into a little standing back bend. Chin in. Spend some time just finding your alignment. Keeping the pubic bone lifting up, chasing the sternum bone. Chin also kind of pulling in. And then shower your arms down to the sides. Can face the front again and get your feet. Start with the feet under the wrists, that alignment when 2 strings drop down from the wrists. And then if you want to bring your feet in a little closer, you can. So the SI joints can be different from side to side. Bend your left knee. Bring your arms to warrior two and look to the left. So you're just kind of, this first warrior two is you're just kind of checking it out and you're seeing, do you need to make any modifications? Straighten the knee, lower the arms. Actually, straighten the knee and lift the arms up. The palms face forward. Your arms are in the shape of a Y. And then drop the right hand down. Kind of keep your tailbone and your sacrum pressing in slightly. Keep that left shoulder back in alignment with your hip. Squeeze your thighs above your knees. Warrior two. Bend your left knee. Bring your arms to T. So this is focus on the shoulder blades, the rhomboid muscles. You can consider them like your shoulder core. And they don't have to slide in closed and locked, but just enough. And then release the arms in front of the pelvis, straighten the leg. Last time for warrior two, look to the left. There's also twisting at the top of the spine in warrior two. Turn the right palm up and lift the right arm up, 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 and come down into a lunge, sitting up on your fingertips. Remember the image of the arrow, just right along the spine. You want the back of the head to feel like it's in alignment with that straight arrow. And dropping the back knee down to the floor, move your hips back and forth, bending and straightening the front knee, accommodating any changes on this side that you feel are necessary. So maybe moving a little more slowly or maybe a little more deeply, whatever. You're listening to your body and it's important. Whatever your body has to say, it's very important. And we're gonna bring the left hand in and just let your left knee drop out to the side, or your hands can go out in front, kind of like pigeon, but not. Try to keep the front right hip pointing down at the ground. Keep your sacrum just kind of flat. Move your hips back, pull your front foot a little closer to your back knee so there's stability, and you can lift your arms and lift them all the way up. So this time we're working with the tops of the shoulders and just pulling them down away from the ears, lifting the pubic bone up, chin in, squeezing the right gluteal muscle. Focus on opening the right front hip flexor. And you might notice as you align yourself, you might feel like you can go up and back a little bit more, as long as it feels open and prana is flowing. And then adjust your spine so it's straight up and down. Bring your hands back down to the ground and come back into your runner's lunge. Oh, I'm sorry. Come back into table. So we're going to do our bird dog a little differently, a little more narrow. The hands are closer. My thumb tips are touching. My knees are right next to each other. They're not touching. Maybe there's an inch of space. And let's see how this feels. If it doesn't feel balanceable to you, then you can move your hands and knees a little farther apart. So lift your left foot up, left knee up, flex the left foot, lift your right arm. So we're bringing that midline, tandem, hand and knee, tightrope. Pull the lower belly up. Activate your transverse abdominis. Keep pushing out through the heel, pointing up through the thumb. Breathing in, holding it, create strength. And then releasing and switching to the other side. It should be delightful to lift the other side up because it was bearing all of the weight. So now you're taking the weight off and checking in with this side. Maybe you're a little more wobbly on this side. And that's just how you observe where the strengthening really needs to come in. Pubic bone to sternum, same cue, facing in this direction. One more breath. And then bring the hands down. So we're not going to do the same down dog stretch. I want you to come up onto your wrists and fists and just press into the ground with your knuckles lifting lower a little bit. Let's cow cap the spine. You can bring the hands back down, the knees apart. Breathing in, cow. Breathing out, cat. Inhaling, cow. Exhaling, cat. One more time, breathing in nice and slow, tilting your pelvis. Breathing out, tucking your tailbone. And so come to your flat back, step your right foot forward. We're just going to do something a little bit different than we did on the other side. Bring your hands up to your knee. So kind of along the same intention though of strengthening the core. We're going to heel toe the right foot in front of the left knee as best as you can. Get the right foot and the left knee to be in the same line. And see how your balance is here, lifting your arms up. Bring your hand down by your left hip. You can rotate your torso a little bit. Bring both of your hands up by your right shoulder. And then bring your hands down by your right hip. And your hands up by your left shoulder. So you might be wobbling around like you're on a tightrope, and that all might have been too much, but it's just an exploration, just kind of seeing what's happening. And this is kind of attributing to your left hip strength because the back knee is the left knee. Okay. And now bring your hands down, bring your right foot in and step your left foot forward. So one side might feel a little wobbly where the other side has no problem at all. So just see what's happening on this side. Injuries have a lot to do with it. So if you have injuries on one side, that side might be your wobbly side. And it's okay to walk the tightrope with your arms. If you feel like you've got some balance, you could do both hands by the right hip, both hands to the left shoulder. Hands by the left hip, hands above the right shoulder. So you're kind of making an X. Or you might just be walking the tightrope the whole time. So side's definitely more wobbly. For me, that's our tandem half kneel. So we're going to keep that left foot at the front of the mat. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee, step your right foot to the left in the forward bend. And dangle in your ragdoll. Lengthen the posterior chain. Breathe into your heart. Release your hands and get your feet in that same chair alignment that we did on the other side. Hips, no, actually, let's bring the feet together. We'll try to do our chair, knees together, feet together. Lower your hips, bend your knees. Lift your chest, hands to the heart. Keep your chin tucked in. And this time we're going to lift the heels up, up, up. And hold them up. Breathing in, hugging in through the thighs, through the knees. Lift your chest a little more. Lower the heels. And then we're going to come all the way up into Urdhva again, that upward hand salute, shoulders down away from the ears. Chin in, you're opening the front of the body. Shower your arms down to the sides again and stand to face the front of your mat. Step your feet apart, not as wide. So we're practicing triangle pose, and then we'll do some balance. The right foot turns out, the left foot turns in. Make your hips go side to side. Check out that movement. See if you can move your head, shoulders, ribs, and hips, all congruent, all just one smooth, fluid movement. And then you can micro bend your right knee a little bit, engage your right upper thigh, and lift your left arm. So this triangle isn't, if you want to go depth, you can, flexibility and depth. If you want to go strength, stay up a bit and engage your lower belly. Feel the collarbones getting wide, and then your left head can turn to the left a bit. You can even take your right hand off of your right leg and demand that the muscles in your torso hold you up, your abs. So it's up to you. Do your triangle the way it pleases you, the way it satisfies you. And then when you're ready, you're going to come up and go back again and complete and flip your feet to the other side. If you want a wider stance, go for it. But if you want to work strengthening today, you can keep your feet a little closer together and see how this side functions. Shifting the hips side to side. Moving the spine, lift the shoulders and the hips. And then stay. You can micro bend that left knee a bit. And lift the right arm up. Turning the head to the right. Notice the side. Its difference is so different. Squeeze and lift and breathe. And when you're ready, come up and go back. I'm sorry, that side is very challenging for me. And bring your arm back down. Turn your toes in, heels in, toes in. I want to do the eagle pose today. So we'll start with our Garuda Mudra. Your thumbs are going to kind of touch and hug each other. Wrap your thumbs. Your wrists are touching. The palms face in. And the four fingers on each hand, they're the feathers. Let your elbows spread apart a little bit so no part of your arm is touching your body at all. Find a point to gaze at. And then lift your right heel and squeeze your left glute. Lift your right knee and then just squat down, crossing the right leg over the left. You can notice what hand you cross over. So I have my right wrist and my right knee crossed in front. Squat down, breathe in, squeeze your legs, lift your pubic bone. And then we're going to lift the right knee up and interlace the hands around the right knee. Let's just try to keep this balance going. Of course, you're going to hold on to the wall or chair or stand your foot on the flat floor if your mat is too bumpy. And then we're going to come into dancer pose. Grab your ankle with your right hand and lift the left arm up. First, keep your knees close and check in with that left hip. And then you can pull your knee back a little. Lift the belly up. Keep the collarbones wide. Stretch your quad. We're going to hug the right knee in again. And then the last one, you could always touch down, but if you want to tie them all together, we're going to do tree. So we're opening up the hip joint. And come into two little birds, touching the first finger to the thumb and kind of flattening the first finger joint. like you have two little birds up in the tree, breathing in. A lot of demand on that left leg. Just do your best. When you're ready to come out, lower the birds and the leg, and then kick, kick, kick with the left leg. You can flip the top of your foot over and just let some stretch in the top of the left ankle work. So lift your left heel, stand up nice and tall, and this time cross the other wrist over for Garuda Mudra. Garuda is the eagle, and the palms face your heart, and the fingers are feather-like. No part of the arms touching the body. Squeeze the right hip. Then lift your toes and cross over and bend your right knee. Start to go down, down, down. Pulling the belly in. Feeling a focus through the eyes. Squeeze the legs. Interlace the hands around the left knee. If you're still with me here, or you can just go at it at your own pace. Hug the knee in, you're squeezing that hip flexor, and then you're going to open it up with dancer. So find your form and alignment first, hips level, shoulders level. And then you can move your left knee. Try to move it straight back. It wants to go out to the side. The hip wants to open out to the side, but you're going to keep that left hip forward. And squeeze that left glute and open the left hip flexor. And then hug it back in real quick. And open it up in your tree. So you know your foot can go anywhere along the inner right leg. And if you'd like to do two little birds again, you can do your two little birds up in the tree. You can visualize another little bird on the top of your head, like three little birds. And when you're done, let your arms and your foot come down. Give your right leg a nice kick. And flip the top of your right foot over. Stretch it out. So we're going to come all the way down to the front of the mat or the back of the mat and come into a squat. Open your knees apart and crouch down between your legs and see if you feel like lifting off the ground in crow pose today or just staying close to the ground, keeping your forearms or your hands down on the ground. So either way, if you want to do crow, some brief instruction is to press your tricep muscles against your shins below your knees. So crow pose is more about hip openness than arm strength. You could come up on your tippy toes, look forward, and it's really a transfer of weight from your feet to your hands. So you don't have to come off the ground, but you could try, and just being in this squatted position is really nice, stretching for the lower back and compression for the hips. We're going to lower the knees when you're done trying your crow and come all the way onto your forearms and sphinx. And just get some upper body opening or front of the torso. Lengthening, elongation. Feel your wrists connecting, your elbows, engaging the glutes. And see if you can pick that lower belly up a little bit away from the ground. Chin in, eyes down. Tip of the tongue at the roof of the mouth, right inside of the top teeth. And then if you want to, you can lift your elbows up a bit. Straightening the elbows. And if you'd rather, you can come down. If you haven't already, you're going to always be mindful of your own back. Lowering the elbows, bring the hands back into cobra. So lower your face down. forehead touching the mat without using your lower back. So really be conscious of low back muscles. We're going to just do another extension, but we want the mid back to do it. So you can push the golf ball with your nose forward and lift your chest off the mat. Right there, I start to feel my low back kick in. So I'm going to stay here. And I'm just going to hold it. I don't want my lower back to lift. I want my middle back to lift. And I'm going to come back down. And you'll feel glutes relax. You can rock your pelvis side to side. Make sure the glutes are engaged. Let's just try it one more time. Elbows in. Push the golf ball with your nose. You're focused on your lower back. Lift with your ribs. You can feel the glutes engage. So you're not going to come up super high unless you can do all that with your middle spine. It's hard. Come back down. I just want to do a few little leg lifts. Tuck your fists under your hip flexors. Bring your feet a little closer together and lift your left leg up. Try to keep it nice and straight. Breathing, lowering the left leg down, relaxing the hips. Lift the right leg up. So the right glute should really be squeezed. Straighten the right leg. And lower it down. Relax the glutes. And then lift them both up. Squeeze both of your glutes. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lift, straighten, and lower. Reach your right arm in front of you and turn onto your side. And I want to show you some nice hip strengthening clams and flippers. So try to have your hips and your shoulder on that back line. And you can support your head with your hand, or you could put a pillow under your head. And your arm comes straight horizontally out from your shoulder. The knees are bent. You're going to lift your knee and just hold it. I actually had a dream about this exercise last night. I think that's a little strange. And then lift your foot and then lower your knee. So your knees touch and lower your foot. So you're doing a clam and a flipper and then clam and flipper. And just see if you can get that nice motion to feel clean and in control and slow. Open clam, open flipper, close clam, close flipper. And we're going to lift both of the feet up and try it. Lift the knee. Well, let's just do some clams. Lower the knee. Lift the knee. Keep your core engaged. Lower it. The feet stay up. I call these floating clams. Lifting and lowering. Lift and lower. Now you're going to lift your knee and you're going to hold it. And you're going to kind of do little pulses. Lift the knee up and pulse it down a little. Lift it a little and lower it a little. Just do 3 more. Little tiny pulses. Stay in control. You might feel your hip fatigue unless you do these a lot. And then knees down, feet down. And we're just going to go to the other side. Line up your hips and your shoulder with the back edge of the mat. Support your head how you want to. And then lift the top knee, lift the top ankle. Lower the top knee, lower the top ankle. That's good. Clam, flipper, clam, flipper. And if you're not overdoing it, like the person in my dream last night, was just doing a million clams, then you'll start to feel what's going on in your hip. And this is, you can think of it as the core muscles in your hip, the little rotators. One more, lift, lift, lower, lower. And if you have an injury on one side, it'll be a little bit more challenging. Lift both of your feet up, floating clams. Lift and lower. Nice and slow. Good. Stay in control. You're going to lift and hold it there and then pulse it up and down. It's like you're going up and halfway down, up and halfway down, up and halfway down. And then knees together, feet down, and just relax. So straighten your left arm, let your head come down, and then bring your right foot behind you and straighten the left leg out. So you're just kind of getting a really nice front of the pelvis, just kind of an open stretch here. On the other side, just kind of roll, reach your right arm up and roll onto your right side, placing the sole of your left foot behind you. Your left knee is pointing up at the sky. You're feeling just some nice stretching in the front of the pelvis. Or you might feel it other places too. Depends on where you're tight. And then we're going to come back onto the front side, hands to cobra, hips to heels. So a nice devotion. Or child's pose. I'm going to bring the hands back by the feet. Rock pose or child's pose. Try to relax your facial muscles, cheeks and jaw. Come back to breathing. One more breath. Slowly lift your spine, and we're going to come on to the back. Get your feet in front of you, soles of the feet flat. And let's just kind of curl down, articulate one vertebrae at a time. Come down and feel how supportive the floor is under your back. Just taking a moment. Roll your head a little to the left. And then from center, a little to the right. And back to center. And then lift your left arm up above your head and roll your head to the right. Head to center, arm down. Lift your right arm up above your head, turn your head to the left. Head to center, arm down. And then you're going to lift your hips, your pelvis up a fist height above the mat. So you're hovering it low. And this is going to get you into some of your glutes. Lift your left arm, turn your head to the right, keep the hips up. Head to center, lower the left arm. Lift your right arm up, up, up. Turn your head to the left. If it hurts your shoulder, you don't have to go all the way back to the floor, okay? Head to center, hands to center. And then you're going to lift your hips a little higher and then hover fist height. Lift the hips a little higher, hover, fist height, lift and lower. Two more times, lift and lower. And then lift your hips all the way up. Feel your shoulder blades taking more of the weight of the body. We're going to keep the nose pointing up and lift both of your arms above your head. And again, if that isn't feeling great on your shoulders, you can hover your arms above the ground or put a bolster under your forearms. So keep the hips up, up, up. We'll feel a little bit more in the hamstrings and the glutes. Taking a big breath, keep the knees kind of moving in alignment towards the midline. They tend to flare out, keep them in. And then lift your arms up and lower your spine down. So the fingertips point to the ceiling. They don't go down yet. Hips come down first and relax the pelvis, and then lower the arms. You're going to flatten your lower back. and then release the lower back. Create an arch in your lower back, so you're tilting your pelvis, pressing into your sacrum, and then relaxing to neutral. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, flatten the lower back, tucking the tailbone. Relax to neutral. Inhale. On the exhale, arch the lower back, pressing into the tailbone. And come to neutral. One more time. Take a deep breath in first. Exhale, push the lower back down, tuck, relax into neutral. Breathe in, tilt. Exhale, relax into neutral. And we're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee and lift the right foot up off the floor. So just kind of rock from side to side. You can keep your hands down on the mat if you want. Press the right knee into the left ankle without using your hands around the knee. You're just doing this all with your legs. And then you're going to put the right foot down and switch. So that's the outer right heel on the left knee. Lift and press. So by keeping your hands down, it doesn't tighten up that posterior chain. So you should feel free up in your neck and shoulders. You can stretch your hips without getting your neck and shoulders to compensate or to overdo anything. Press the knee into the ankle a little bit and release and drop both feet down to the ground. Hug both knees in, lift your head, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze in Apanasana. And then grab the outer edges of your feet in Happy Baby and rock around. Play with your legs, let them straighten and bend. Cradle your left leg. So I'm going to use my elbows around my knee and my foot. You could also use your hands, whatever feels right. Your right leg is going to hover above the ground and you're keeping your head and your back up. Now we're going to release that foot out and just hug the knee in. Lift the right leg up to the sky and lower the back and the head down. Straighten your left leg on the mat. Bring your arms to T. Bend your right knee and cross it over to the left side. So you have a nice spinal twist. Take a deep breath in again. Breathe into that. Head to the right, knee to the left. Come back to center, and we're going to cradle the right leg. So either with the hands or the elbows. Hover the left leg and your upper back and head are lifted. Squeeze the right knee in. So you let go of the foot, interlace your hands around the right knee. Your head is still up and the leg is still up. Raise the left leg to the sky, lower the back and the head, arms to T, and straighten the right leg. Try to press the back of that right leg down and the sole of the left foot up. Bend the left knee, cross the left knee over to the right and head to the left. And taking several breaths, just rotating the spine, squeezing out any tension from the back. And coming back to center. And then bending both knees, aligning your hips and your shoulders and your head. When you're done, straighten your legs. If you have bolsters or pillows or essential oils or some nice music you want to put on, and give yourself an opportunity to just be like this. Just giving yourself a few minutes of peaceful, quiet time. And if the mind is trying to convince you of anything, planning, problem solving, prioritizing, just give yourself a little bit of space. Tell your mind, not right now. And notice your jaw relaxing, the muscles around your eyes getting softer, your forehead feeling more smooth, eyebrows sliding apart, opening the third eye to look inward, downward to your heart. And notice some expansion through the heart center, some opening and some relaxation. Perhaps releasing some emotion, or perhaps allowing that emotion to be there. Investigating what it is like to be you right now. And then nurturing yourself with love and further relaxation down through the belly. And a softening and a letting go and acceptance and just being here like this. You can let any of the muscle fibers around the glutes and the backs of the thighs and the fronts of the hips to just let go as if you were soaking in a hot tub and just feeling that relaxation penetrate with the warm water into the muscles and down through the bones. Notice this relaxation all the way down your legs into your feet. Feeling each toe releasing, letting go, just being. Beautiful being. You are a beautiful being. Being beautiful. Namaste.